The airline, of course, the issue they face is getting to the bottom of what caused such a serious IT failure. And with us now is IT analyst Ash Hunt, who's going to talk us through what actually happened. Thanks for coming in.
Morning.
The reason that the company has given is a power outage. Were you surprised that that came out as the reason, and might that change as more information comes to light?
So I wasn't initially surprised. When I first heard about this, sort of security researchers and analysts such as myself, it sort of made us raise an eyebrow. Widespread network disruption affecting operational capability, and it's pervasive, affecting passengers all over the world. And so, it has the kernel of what could be a cyber attack. And indeed, there are many cyber attacks that could leverage this kind of disruption with relative ease when coupled with adversarial intent. But I think we have to give BA the benefit of the doubt here. It does seem that it's just simply a power outage. But the worrying thing is that there appear to be no contingency plans in place, no breakers in place to handle and manage the fallout of this technical issue. And
that's almost unbelievable, isn't it? That there's no plan B, that there's no set go-to if something like this happens.
Well, unfortunately, it's just becoming a common trend with infrastructure and companies of the like. We see it time and time again, and we saw it with the NHS attack only a couple of weeks ago. We expect these kind of companies and infrastructure that are essential to the services of the United Kingdom to have these backup plans in place, but they don't seem to be. And instead, we were left with information and technical mismanagement, which is at its best lazy and its worst incompetent.
Well, the GMB union, they're claiming that they believe it's because the handling of IT systems for BA has been outsourced, something that BA have denied. I mean, in terms of your experience, what are the sort of things companies should bear in mind when they do outsource this sort of thing?
Well, outsourcing, unfortunately, is just a common part of what a lot of these companies will do for their services because it's just cost effective and profit margins for airlines aren't entirely large anyway as it is. So it is to be expected, but you have to give due diligence and consideration when you are outsourcing for exactly these kinds of reasons. Passengers have been trying to contact the call centres. They haven't even been able to get through. They've been discouraged from rebooking. Indeed, I contacted both BA and ATI who manage their data centres. I couldn't get through to either of them. Neither would contact me back.
So what would you say BA should have had in place? What should have been the procedure? What would have allowed this to run smoothly despite the power outage?
Well, the reality is too often that companies such as British Airways see these technical aspects of their operations as exogenic, when in fact they're absolutely core and central to their business and ensures, for the most part, operational excellence. There needs to be a refocus towards managing these kinds of operations within their organisation. I mean, naturally, their focus will always be delivering passengers safely to and from their destinations, but you cannot ignore that these technical aspects underpin those operations and that due consideration has to be given to them.
Is the reason perhaps that some of these companies are reluctant, is it cost?
Well, again, as you mentioned earlier, the outsourcing, cost is a huge factor, and it is very costly. But there's a risk with that, right? The more you kind of outsource and put services to a third party, you have less control over them, and obviously run a risk that when a situation like this occurs, you have little control over it.
And if it was that, it's definitely going to cost them a bit more money than they ever hoped.
Yes, all that compensation claims going in. Ash Hunt, thank you very much for coming in. Still to come on Sunrise.